What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Peasy. We got a video here today with DJ Vlad and Gilbert Arenas. I said Gilbert. With Gilbert Arenas, he's talking about having $100 million and what it's like to be retired at 32. Let's see what he has to say about this.
So you were how old when you retired?
32, I think.
32. Okay. So at 32, you retired from your career, essentially, and you were rich at the time. You were worth over 100 million at that point. What does a retiree, a 32-year-old retiree who's worth $100 million spend their days over the next year or two?
Trying to find out who the fuck he is. Miserable.
Really? You were miserable?
Yeah.
Huh. I did not expect this answer. Okay.
Because, like any athlete, right? From the ages of 6, 7 years old, all we knew was one thing: hoop.
Yeah.
Hoop school, right? Hoop summer, hoop play, right? Hoop
okay,
school.
so you were how old when you started playing? 6?
I started at 10.
At 10, yeah. You were a little bit later.
Yeah, I was later.
So from 10 years old, but you were nonstop.
Yeah, so 10 to 32, nonstop. All I knew was basketball, right?
Yes.
That's all I knew. Regimen, wake up, ball, sleep, wake up, ball, sleep, wake up, ball, eat. That was it, right? My career, right? I'm not partying as much during the season because that's the weird thing about NBA players that, they work their asses off during the summer, and then in the season starts, they want to party more because they get to go to every city, which is stupid, right? It's supposed to be the other way around. Focus during the season, party in the summer. So I handicap, don't use phones, don't party as much, go to 2-3 cities, don't drink, there's things that I put. So when I'm done and say, all right, Gilbert, have fun, enjoy life. All right, cool. A week goes by, the summer goes by, and then what ends up happening is this is what happens to every athlete. The season changes. Their season, right? I can smell when the season's starting. Getting a little colder, that September smell is coming. So what ends up happening is my body naturally goes into get ready for the season mode.
Okay.
Well, unfortunately, there's no fucking season.
Yeah.
But for the last fucking years of my life,
22 years.
My body,
two-thirds of your life.
My body has been programmed. 5:30, wake up, right? Train, go to sleep, eat lunch, train, wake up, boom, train. So now when training camp starts, because every athlete, they're going to get antsy. They're going to start doing a lot of this when the season's getting ready to start. And now there's no season. So what happens? You're sitting there like, what the fuck do I do with this time? All right, I woke up at 5:30. All right, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. Okay. And so what I did when I first, retired, I had to try to figure out how to be busy between 9 o'clock and 12. And then there's lunch.
Now, that happens very, very, very often. You will find people who retire from working at a job that they hate or did not enjoy for, I don't know how long you got to work to retire, like 30 years or 40 years. They'll work there for 40 years, retire, and because they are not sure what to do with that time, they will essentially deteriorate. Like, they'll pass away much shorter than they would have if they continued to work or if they knew what they wanted to do at that time. So that happens. Me, myself, I spend a lot of my time with business and with my family. If I didn't have one of those things, I'd be a completely different person. I'd be like, what do I do with this time? So I completely understand where he's coming from. Like, the money has nothing to do with it. He has $100 million, but he has no idea on what it is that he would be interested in spending it on. So it's very interesting to think about.
Lunchtime, then I go to sleep, and then about 5 o'clock to 8, be busy again. So what I caught myself doing, not even noticing, not even really understanding it. I'm driving from Calabasas all the way to downtown.
Just to kill time.
Just to kill time. In traffic, just listen to music, got a fucking playlist. Trying to, like, you know how, like, it's like, all right, take this route for shorter. I'm taking the longest route. Huh. Right? Just driving to downtown, driving back. By the time I get back, it's noon. Fucking lunchtime. Go get some lunch. Huh. Go on my TV, pass out, wake up, do it again. I spent a year driving in traffic.
Wow.
Like, I'll buy a new car and I got like fucking 30,000 miles on it in a year because I'm just fucking in traffic the whole time. Just having fucking fun. Just
okay. Well,
there came a time when I was working, or I was building the businesses, and there's kind of I think they call it ebb and flow. So, businesses, they pick up and then they also kind of decline. So they pick up and then they kind of decline. So I was kind of in an ebb flow state, or an ebbing state, where not too much was happening, and I found myself like driving to this other place that we have about 30 minutes, and I'd do it like 3 or 4 times a day. So that's 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. That's an hour every time I'd go, and I'd waste like 3 or 4 hours doing that every single day, until I realized like I need to find something productive to do with this time, or else I'm just going to be burning a lot of money, burning a lot of gas, and essentially killing this car much sooner than it needs to be utilized. I'm overutilizing this car right now. I don't really need to use it. So I had to put something in place at that time. So I completely understand where he's coming from.
Well, but you retired because of your injuries, right?
Yeah.
But you could have played overseas, right?
Could have.
Clearly, there was teams in the world that would take you.
Yeah, like I was getting injured, and I was trying out getting injured, and my body just wasn't responding.
At
so
32, huh?
Yeah, so I just let it go, and then letting it go is like
you can't come back.
No hobby, right? I wasn't a golfer, So most guys, they sit on the golf course as long as possible. That's why a lot of guys go to TNT. They want to hurry up and get back into it because. What do we know? We haven't had a regular life.
But what about true. Okay? I get that part. I get that part, right?
It's like Michael Jackson and some shit.
But you're sitting on $100 million.
Okay, where do I spend it from 10 a.m. to 4? I'm go to fucking mall. I mean, how many malls can we go to with no one there?
Where's that? No, listen. It's okay.
That's what I said. In hindsight,
no, I got it. Listen. As someone. I didn't have 100 million, but I sit on millions. So it's always interesting. For example, like because I was broke the majority of my life, or struggling, or trying to get to somewhere, and you always like, oh man, I wish I could buy that car. I wish I could buy that Louis jacket. I wish I could. And then you get to this point where like I have a Mercedes dealership down the street from my house. I remember going by the dealership, walking around, going like, I could buy any of these cars. And I don't want any of them.
Don't want any of them.
And then going to the Louis store, going like, I could buy any item in the store. But I don't like anything here. So it's a weird, like, what I'm saying? And this is not me talking down on people. This is just the reality of once you hit certain financial levels. It's like all this stuff that you dreamed about having all these years, when you suddenly can have it, you're like,
Once you've done it, now let's take away your job.
Yeah.
Now let's take away your outlet, what you do to be able to be like, I'm good. No matter how much money you have, if you don't have it, that's why when you hear someone, they'll be like, yeah, my parents still work. My dad just loves to go to work. That's what's keeping him alive.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Same thing.
Absolutely. You have to have a purpose. You're right. You take that purpose away. If you tell me, because it's an interesting question. Like, listen, I'm going to turn 50 next month. And it's like, do I still love what I do? Now, not all parts. I've had to install managers in my, company because there's certain parts of managing 20 employees that I just can't, I just don't enjoy anymore and so forth. And like, would I do every interview? Like, if let's just say I sold my company for 100 million, would I do every interview I'm doing now? No, absolutely. But if I had a chance, like when I did the Smokey Robinson interview, would I have done that for free? Absolutely. Smokey Robinson,
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, Shaka Khan. Like when I look at some of the, Neil deGrasse Tyson, who I recently did, it's like, some of these, it's like to be able to sit down with this really accomplished person and to be able to ask them whatever you want for 2 hours is dope. Like I get so excited for these kind of interviews. But would I do every interview like with every regular guest and everything? No, probably not.
Now, what if we take that from you, right? We take it from you.
You cannot interview anyone else,
and then you can't interview no one else.
Yeah.
First week, 2 weeks, you're like, yeah. And then after, when everything settles and you're sitting there like,
fuck.
Now all these people are calling. Like now the people, your guest list that you've always wanted starts calling. You can't do it.
Yeah. Eminem wants to do an interview,
Right?
Can't
now
do it.
you're seeing. So when basketball season starts,
Yeah.
it's nerve-wracking for players who retired.
So this goes like everyone that you know goes through this, really.
It's the purpose. What is my purpose now, right? Why do you think the divorce rate is so high on athletes when the first 4 years? Because
really? I didn't know
the first 4 years, that athlete is now have to be something he's never been before.
Damn, that's actually very true. He comes from being a full-time athlete to now having to be a full-time stay-at-home dad, stay-at-home husband. He got to be around you 24/7. He didn't know that in the middle of the day you like to eat Cheetos, fart, and watch story time. And because he was always at practice during that time. So that's very interesting to think about. Even with people who retire from their jobs, they end up becoming completely different people than they were when they were working every single day and they had a goal or they had a motive. It's very interesting to think about. It's very sad to see that Gilbert here is, kind of describing himself as miserable with having such resource at his despair or at the end of his fingertips. So it's kind of unfortunate, but it goes to show you that money is not everything. We oftentimes, when we don't have money, we look to get money to solve all of our problems, and then we see people who have just as much money as we'd like still having problems. So I'd say, get to the money 100%. Don't stop getting to whatever money it is that you'd like to get to. Achieve any goals it is you'd like to achieve, but be sure that you take the time to understand who it is you are and what it is that you actually enjoy aside from making money. That's one thing that I'm kind of struggling with right now. I'm asking myself constantly, what is it that you enjoy doing aside from creating businesses, establishing relationships, and ultimately making money? So that's one thing I'm trying to ask myself right now. And, one thing that I'm looking at is like, I really enjoy being able to do what I want to with my time. I really enjoy being able to pick my kids up in the morning, pick my kids up in the afternoon, drop them off in the morning, see them when I'd like to, and be able to play with them pretty much at any time. So those are the things that I enjoy. And because of those specific things, I'm willing to do things that I do not enjoy. So, that's kind of here nor there. That's another video. But nonetheless, I think Gilbert did a great job of explaining, people who have seemingly everything don't actually have everything. So if you guys like this video, please like, subscribe. We'll be dropping more videos, at least 2 a week. Thank you guys. Hope you all have a great day. We're out. Peace.